Hey everyone. So someone left a comment on one of my other strawberry videos and shared that for new strawberry plants, such as the ones here, it's a good idea to thin out the fruit or the potential fruit, as you can see here, in the first year, and subsequent years you'll get larger and more plentiful amount of fruit. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a pretty awesome idea. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit up front to get more in the future. But I kind of wanted to see how much more or how much larger. I did do some research and read online, and this seems to be something that I am reading quite a bit. But there wasn't a ton of data on how much more or how much larger we are talking about. So I'm looking to do an experiment. So I have 3 rows here, 1, 2, 3, of Seascape strawberries that I planted in roughly May of 2024. It is currently January 2025, so it's been a little bit half year already. But my plan is I'm going to take this entire middle row and do just that, cut off all these plants and continue to do so for the next, I'm going to try 6 months. That will kind of give it a little bit of time to, in theory, grow out its roots, grow out larger leaves, and then hopefully produce larger fruit. I'm going to, however, leave the top row here and this row right here completely the way it is so that we have something to compare with. To give you an idea of what kind of fruit and size it has been producing so far, I would say this one, which is probably a little bit over an inch long, is probably one of the bigger ones. I have noticed, which is why I was really interested in that comment, that the fruit being produced really isn't all that big or symmetrical that I was expecting. Let's see, here's another one that maybe I'll pick off after this video. As you can see, they're just a little bit smaller. I notice a lot of these, the dots are kind of bunched up near the bottom. Here's another example. Hasn't turned red yet, but looks like it's about to start to. And so that's kind of the state of the fruit at this time. So I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to cut off all these little buds from this middle row, continue to do so till the maybe middle of the year, and then see after that if it has time to grow more buds and larger fruit afterwards, and we can do another bit of a comparison video after that. So why don't I start pruning this a bit. All right, that's all the ones here. Hopefully by cutting off all those buds, there's now more energy being able to be spent growing the roots and establishing that strong foundation. And we'll see what we'll get in another 6 months. All right, so it's been 3 months since I started this experiment, and I am noticing a difference in some other areas. I haven't grown any fruit yet. I am letting one right here grow per plant, if I can catch them. If you'll notice on the upper ones, I'm letting them all fruit, or just like they would normally. But one thing that I'm noticing, as you can see, remember the middle tier is the one that I've been snipping all the flowers. Check out those leaves. So here's the top tier with all the fruit. We'll see some leaves, yellowing a little bit. Right, we're seeing that across. But check out this middle tier. Look how green and vibrant those leaves are. Not sure if that's related. My guess is it is, because look at the lower level, right? We're seeing that same yellowing along the edges. There are some, of course, bright green leaves, but not as much as those right there. So I will wait for this one to fruit. I have some more across all the other middle plants to see if, hey, did 3 months of cutting off all those flowers help? and see what we get. All right, so doing another update here. I did let some of the middle tier, the one that I've been chopping off a lot of the flowers to let it grow a little bit more. As I mentioned earlier, leaves are looking great compared to the ones that I did not, but I'm not noticing a fruit size difference so far. So here's one that we got here. I'm getting another pretty equally sized one from the one up top. There's a couple here that I'm seeing that are also producing decent sized fruit. Some from even the bottom ones that are producing decent sized fruit. The ones in the middle, they're not bad. I'm not going to complain about it, but it's just not producing more than I expect. So again, the leaves so far are definitely larger, greener. It looks more vibrant. Haven't seen a fruit difference yet. After these fruit, I am going to start chopping off more of the flowers again and seeing, if I wait a couple more months, if I see a difference, maybe in the summertime. The other thing that I'll mention is, as you might have seen in some of my other videos, these are newly planted Honeows. And while they are June bearing, I mean, not bad. I let them grow one strawberry just to kind of see, like, hey, what kind of size am I going to see on a new bare root? And this is what we're seeing. I mean, not too shabby. I am only letting them grow one. Based on what I saw with the leaves here, I'm probably not going to let these grow anymore. I just wanted to do one and see what it looks like. But after this one fruit, I'm going to chop them off going forward and let the leaves grow out because I want them to be able to survive the summer. So hopefully that's helpful there. Hey everyone. So this is the final update. It's been a few more weeks and I am noticing some interesting tidbits that I thought I'd share. So as you can see, still the leaves are still greener on the strawberry plants that I'm snipping off, I was snipping off the flowers on, compared to the ones that I was not. One thing that I did notice though, it's been a few weeks since the last update, but this is probably the biggest strawberry that I have grown so far. So we are noticing a size difference. And the other thing that is hard to tell, like here's another one from the upper bush, as you can see, noticeably smaller. You can look at all these other strawberries as well on the top row, and even any from the bottom. Those are all noticeably smaller. Now the other thing that I want to mention, which you can't really tell through camera, is that they are actually sweeter. So from what we learned in this experiment is that nipping the flowers and letting the leaves grow to a bigger canopy, healthier canopy, as you can see, the dark green versus the lighter color leaf here, is helping produce larger, sweeter strawberries. Now, I do want to kind of break it down a little bit because I think there is a little bit more into the details. So strawberry plants are doing a number of things. They're growing roots. Here's some of the bare roots that I have, the Honeows. They're growing roots. They're growing new leaves. There might be growing fruit. And here actually is a new runner as well. So these are 4 examples of things that they're trying to do. And all of that takes energy. So when we take off the flowers, or maybe even the runners, in this case, if I wanted to snip this runner right here, what we're doing is telling the strawberry plant to focus on the other things, focus on the roots, focus on the leaves, as another example. And what I think I plan on doing is that for new plants, young plants, bare roots, I do plan on snipping the flowers. Because while it can produce fruit, I think I've shown it in some of my previous updates. I know I have here it is. Here is a bare root as well with a decent sized fruit. They do produce fruit, but the question becomes, what is important to you? For me, I have trouble with strawberries surviving the intense heat of the summers in my zone. So when I have a young strawberry plant, I want them to focus on roots and I want them to focus on leaves. So that's what I plan to do. If you don't have that problem, maybe you have them grow some fruit, and that is okay. So there's not going to be a one size fits all type recommendation. This is more of a look what happens when you do pick off the flowers and let the leaves grow versus when you don't, and how do you want to apply it to yours. Now, I will also say these plants are a year old. I think that after seeing this, I could probably fertilize all of the tiers more so that maybe they can do both. Maybe they can grow their leaves, establish them, and grow fruit at the same time, since it's been a year already. But what we see here is still a good example of what happens when you pick off those flowers or the runners and have it focus on those other pieces. So again, for me, any of my bare roots or younger strawberry plants, I'm going to continue picking off their flowers and their runners, especially the honeyoes, because they are not heat tolerant. I want them to build a big canopy. I want them to build their roots so that I don't have to water each pocket. I can water through the center. And I want them to build that foundation so that they will thrive the following year and make it through the summer. For these are supposed to be heat tolerant, so I might be okay. For example, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. I'm gonna let it grow this runner because I'm going to try and fix this pocket right here. This one is also doing pretty well with the number of leaves. I will let it grow a single berry. This one has 3 leaves. I think that is a little too soon, so I'm gonna pick off that flower. So hopefully this helps you understand, what happens for strawberry plants. I imagine this will be the same for many plants as well. And you can then see what is important to you. Do you want fruit sooner? You can definitely get it sooner. Or do you want bigger, sweeter fruit at a later time? Or maybe if you've had difficulties having the strawberries survive, maybe you let it focus on growing and establishing itself. Maybe you have a greenhouse or an area with milder climate and they do thrive pretty well. Maybe you can get more fruit on the first year. So hope all this helps. Leave any comments of what you think, or if you have other experiment ideas, because I really enjoy doing all this. Hope this helps. Thanks, everyone.